All right. The day is 12/15/2024. The time is 5:53 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, as always, first things first, let's look at this week's upcoming news event. Pretty heavy week. All right, guys. Pretty heavy week. Tread lightly. I will not be trading until 2025. But, if you want to take the chance, take the chance. So, looking right here, we can see that we have high impact news every single day this week. All right. Starting with flash services PMI, core retail sales on Tuesday. Wednesday, you got federal fund rates, FOMC, pretty big news. All right. Press conference, huge news. Thursday, you got final GDP, huge news. Unemployment claims, huge news. This will all move the market in crazy ways. All right. And on Friday, you have core PCE price index month over month. Now, keep that in mind, everybody. Please keep that in mind. Do not get caught in these traps. Now, if you are intentionally looking to trade these news events, then by all means, take note of the time and be there or be square. Other than that, I highly recommend staying far, far, far away from the markets, especially around the times that these events are supposed to happen. Now, as always, let's go ahead and dive right into our top-down analysis. Starting with the Nasdaq 100, aka YN. So we currently made last week we made all new all-time highs. Now we don't really have much structure. All we have is this high point right here. So I'm going to mark that off, and as markets develop between today, Sunday, and tomorrow, Monday, we can adjust this line accordingly. Our next structure point is going to be right here. And I mean, we can also mark off these lows right here. This is on the daily time frame. Now going down, well, I guess we can look at the weekly as well, but I mean, yeah, that's pretty accurate. So going down to the daily, from the daily to the 4 hour, we can see that we have a few levels in between these major daily levels. And if you want, you can even mark them off, daily key level, and then do the same with every other one. But I already know, just from looking at it, I know that these are going to be my daily key levels. And then taking it a step further, I can see price respecting this area here. So this is another key level to note. And then we also have, we can mark this level right here, more so something like that. All right. And that's really all I would mark off on the 4 hour time frame. There's really no need to go all the way down here unless price begins to come all the way down to these areas, and then we can try to mark off structural levels. Now, taking it down to the 1 hour time frame, this is where we can refine our key levels a little bit just to make it make a little bit more sense. Because remember, these lines are not exact, they are zones. So just keep that in mind, that these are zones that we are marking off, and try to also stay with most recent price action. I wouldn't go too far back. I would definitely take note of the key areas that that market is giving on more recently versus something all the way in the back. So that's what I would do on the 1 hour. I'm not really seeing much. I mean, I can mark off this right here, but whoa, that line is crazy dumb. Okay, we can mark off that right there just to note that we may possibly see a reaction at this level. So keep that in mind. Like, price did come up here and then had a rejection off of it. So it's definitely notable on the 1 hour time frame. And then maybe even take note of this down here. But just know that this is 1 hour. This is a 1 hour key level. So could you expect a reaction? Yes. But is it highly respected? Could be, but you never know. And then once it comes down to actually trading on a day-by-day basis, that's when we come down and we're going to mark up our 15-minute and our 5-minute. But if I were to mark up my charts for the upcoming week, this is pretty much all I would do. Now, let's go over what we are actually seeing with the Nasdaq. We're in an uptrend, all right? We are in an uptrend, and we had a very, very large bullish move all the way up to breaking all-time highs and creating a new all-time high. So what happens, as you can see, this once upon a time was an all-time high. In this area, we had a huge pullback. All right. And then over to the right, we had a new all-time high created over here in this area before another large pullback. Mind you, this is the daily key level. I mean, this is the daily time frame that we are on. So now that we have this huge now that we have a new all-time high, chances are there's going to be some sort of pullback, whether that be a huge pullback maybe, and then a continuation up, or even a small pullback and then a continuation up. But since it is approaching the end of the year, what I'm anticipating is that there's going to be a lot of selling off, a lot of institutions, hedge funds, banks taking their profits, and the market will dump, because we can already see that happening on US 30. US 30 has been dumping all week, all right, all last week. But we will go over US 30 here in a little bit. So like I said, guys, what I'm anticipating, what I'm expecting to happen is either one of two things, and I could be completely wrong, but I believe the market is either going to consolidate, in a range for the rest of the year, which you could potentially capitalize on, or there's going to be a huge pullback before the New Year's, and then if market wants to, it's going to continue upwards. That's my bias. Could that happen? Absolutely. Could it absolutely not happen at all? Is that English? Absolutely. The market can just continue to shoot up. It can just keep going up the way it has been. Doesn't have to have a pullback. The way people are buying the market, people are very excited, making a lot of profits. So, the market could just keep pushing up. But my bias, now that we just created a new all-time high, I'm expecting some sort of a pullback. So I would definitely be on alert, high alert for that. And especially with a lot of news events as well, what the market tends to do when it comes to news events, if the market is anticipating for a bull run, you will often see that the market will tank drastically prior to high impact news, giving all the buyers, all the bulls, an amazing area to purchase and to buy, and then they run it up viciously, like literally just straight bull candle after bull candle. So, and we seen that last week with CPI. So just keep that in mind. But also news could completely tank the market. So you never know. Like I always say, guys, we don't predict, we react. So going into S&P 500, let me clear these alerts. Excuse me. And we are going to start off here on the daily. We can already see that some resistance is being formed right here on the daily time frame, and then we have this key area right here we can note, and then below that we have this. I would mark off this area right here, clean that up a little bit, and that's really all I will mark off on the daily time frame, because we don't really need much more data. I mean, we can mark this up, but like always, guys, you don't really need to know what's going on in this area unless price begins to trade in those areas. Now, going down to the 4-hour time frame, here's where we're going to get a lot more noise. Let me see. I mean, I would pretty much just keep it as is, because there isn't really much structure to mark off. I mean, we can mark off this right here because we are seeing some support from, this area all the way here. But I feel like that's just going to confuse you. It's definitely going to confuse me. Whoopsie daisy. But as you can see, that price is respecting this zone right here. Respected it once, twice, 3 times. Now it looks like it's respecting it again. But just the area to keep in mind, going down to the 1-hour time frame, as you can see a lot more clearly that this is holding as support. So that is something to keep in mind for intraday and or scalping key levels. A lot more noise on a 1 hour, but I would just keep up with the most recent price action and go from there. And if need be, you can come down and start to adjust. But just, you can see clear as mud, that you got something going on right here. You got something, going on down here. But once you start marking up all of these different levels, guys, I'm telling you, it's going to confuse you. Just stay with, like, forget all the noise from last week and just stay with what price action is giving you. Right now it's Sunday, so it's not going to be much movement potentially. But by Monday, this is gonna look completely different, and it's gonna give us, some kind of structure or whatever the case may be, and then we can start marking up key levels according to what the market is giving us after price begins to develop. So I would just leave it at that for the 1 hour time frame. You can see your key levels. You can see that we had some resistance right here. Price came down and then came back up to this area, tried to break above, could not, came back up, retested it, and then dumped down. This is an intraday level that needs to be noted on a 1 hour time frame. All right, and then where did it go to next? It came back down to this support. So what can you anticipate? You can anticipate a double bounce play, a double bottom, where you get something maybe like this for a move up, or you may even get a break of these lows right here. You get a break of this support, and then you can start looking to short the market down to this area and even lower. Like I said, I personally believe that the overall market will begin to sell off as we get closer to the holidays. We only have one more week left, so I do believe that potentially I don't see the market breaking all-time highs right now. Maybe next year, January, once everybody's back from vacation and whatnot. But as of right now, I don't really see markets going back up and breaking all-time highs. Like I said, we can also see price begin to range in between these areas, and you can capitalize off of that. So that could be the case, or we may even get some consolidation where the market does, some wicked activities, and we won't know parts of that. Like I said, I won't be trading in tarnation. I won't be trading for the rest of the year just because of how the market has been, iffy, wicking out crazy, huge moves, in opposite directions. It's just been crazy, and I'm like, I'm not with it. I don't want to feed the market my money. I like my money. I like to make money, not give it away. If I want to give it away, I'll donate it to a charity or give it at church. But that's what I would say. I'm looking for on the S&P. Same thing as the Nasdaq. Looking for some sort of pullback. Now this could be considered a pullback. It actually can, and then we could see a continuation upward if price wanted to break all-time highs, especially with all of the news events coming out. If it's really good news, we could potentially see a break of the all-time highs and creating new all-time highs prior to the new year. We could. It's a lot of news happening this year, but here's what I'm expecting, right? Because I've seen it so many times, and I could be wrong, but I would expect price to come all the way back down to this area, giving buyers a great area to make some money, and then they buy it up, either for a continuation of all-time highs, or you can see we could either form a head and shoulder pattern and go all the way down back to this key level right here. But you never know. Sit on your hands, let the market show its hand. As always, sit on your hands, don't be in a rush to lose. Never be in a rush to lose. So that is going to be the S&P. And next we are going to go into US30. Now US30 has been trending beautifully. For some reason, anytime I got in the trade, it wanted to wick out and do something crazy, but it's been trending, clear as day. It's been on a downtrend. But if I were to mark this off, I would definitely mark off all-time highs right here. Mark off these lows down here in this area. That was definitely a key area of support. Mark off this, wrong thing. And then I will also mark off these areas right here in between this gap. This gap was finally filled. I remember 2 weeks ago, I was trying to take a trade to fill this gap and got bamboozled. And now this gap is finally filled. So the market has indeed corrected itself. What can we expect from US30? Same as everything else. Now, US30 is already trending downwards, but this can very much just be a pullback. If I pull up our Fibonacci, it is actually in the, that 50% to 61.8 pullback zone. So we can see price start to, make its way back up to create new all-time highs as news come out, or maybe the news will make price continue onwards in a downward direction. Who knows? I don't, you don't, no one does. If someone does, let me know, tell me. Don't say it out loud or anything, but tell me if you know, 'cause I need to know. But so yeah, looking at the daily, whoopsie daisy. Looking at the daily, you can see we're making higher highs, higher lows, higher high, and now we're creating lows. But if price began to come down into this area, break below support, this key level right here, and then show signs that it wants to continue downwards after a retest, or even some strong volume, we can look to short the market downward to this key level and then see what happens here. But that's US 30. If I go down to the 4-hour time frame, we start to have a lot more noise. But as you can see, it's just been trending downwards. It's literally, if I draw a trend line, it's been trending downwards like crazy, and it's funny because I was on my flip account. And I got in a trade that bamboozled me. I got in a sale. I want to say I got in a sale right. Let me see. Where was it? Because I was actually upset because I was trying to flip the account. I got in right here. I got in, this price started to break these lows. Was it right here? Maybe. It was somewhere around this area. Stop loss was above, all the way up here. Came all the way up, tapped me out. And then as you can see, and I pretty much risked the entire account. It was only $1,000 account. As you can see, we would be up like 500, 5,000 pips if we were still in this trade. So I anticipated it. Even if I had an even bigger stop loss, price still just came up, tapped me out, and then continue onwards with the trend. So right trade, wrong time. But going back into our top-down analysis, we can see clear as mud that the market is in a downtrend. So I would look for the market to continue onwards with this downtrend. You're going to have to play this by ear, though, because there's a lot of noise when you get down to the 1-hour time frame. So it's pretty hard to pinpoint exactly what you should be looking for. I could say possibly maybe get some, you might see some support right here at this level. And then, if price were to break below here, breaking the lows right here, you could, sell all the way down to this area right here and see what happens. But maybe you might get, depending on news, price could reverse right here. Like I said, we are at that 50 to 61.8 mark on Fibonacci. So price can indeed reverse completely right here and make its way back up, because overall the market is still in a uptrend. It is yet to break structure. Structure would not break, and until price were to come down here, create a low, a lower high, and then a lower low. That's when overall the entirety of US 30 has shifted structure. Right now, this is still considered a pullback. All right, but just keep that in mind. So what can you expect for US 30? Like I said, I'm anticipating the market to dump, either to continue to dump due to holidays and institutions taking profit, or continue to dump, giving buyers a better area to buy for this large week of news that we have coming up. But that's pretty much it. Remember, guys, remember, it is the end of the year and a lot of wickedness is going to be happening. Me personally, I will not be trading the rest of the year. If you want to trade me, I would say, at least use a demo account, back test, forward test. Just let the markets play out for the rest of the year, and wait until about the first week of January, second week of January, and then get back into it once all the institutions are back into it and the market, continues onward. But if you want to trade this week, have fun. I hope you are profitable this week. And that's all I have. I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.